Gump Report.
I'm serious now. You see the title. I haven't figured out what the title is right now. But you see the title. Man, what do we actually have in our hands? Do you know who owns WWE? I think that might be the real title. Who really owns TKO WWE? Because at this moment, it's not Ari Emanuel.
I always thought it was.
But now, guess what? Ari is not owning the company anymore. Calm. It was when I had to go to physical therapy, because I go to physical therapy once a week for my problems with my hip and my back. And I was explaining things to people about what happened in WrestleMania, which sucked. And I will be making a video on The Rock and on Triple H. But I have to do this video first because of the situation that's going on. Because it affects what I'm going to be saying about The Rock and Triple H and the possible feud between them. Because understand this. It was March of this year that Endeavor Group Holdings, Endeavor, it still exists. I always thought it was a company alongside of TKO. I was wrong. TKO Group Holdings, well, let me explain this. There are two companies. The parent, the full true parent company is Endeavor. But it is it was a publicly owned company that also owned another company that was started, which was TKO Group Holdings, which now owns UFC and WWE, the former UFC, the former WWE. They are no longer in existence. UFC does not exist. It is a part of that company. It's a satellite company being controlled here. And so is WWE. It does not exist anymore. It is also a satellite company being owned by TKO Group Holdings. But TKO, I now know, is still fully owned by Endeavor. So it is Endeavor Group Holdings, TKO Group Holdings, and in TKO Group Holdings, you have TKO UFC and TKO WWE, because neither company exists anymore. They were bought out. Even though if Vince was still available, not counting what he'd done, he would not own the company anymore. He is working it on behalf of Ari Emanuel, who at the time owned Endeavor. Well, here's where it gets interesting.
This is where I hope your mind don't get blown.
In March, Endeavor was bought out. Let me say that again.
Endeavor Group Holdings, which owns TKO
Group Holdings and TKO UFC and TKO WWE, was bought out. All its shares was bought out by another company called Silver Lake. Now, it's mainly called Silver Lake, but it's also called Silver Lake Global. It is an investment firm. And at this time, Ari Emanuel does not own Endeavor, TKO Group Holdings, or UFC, or WWE, but he is still the CEO of Endeavor. As far as I can tell, he is still the CEO of Endeavor, which he still has control on behalf of Silver Lake of Endeavor, TKO Group Holdings, TKO WWE, and TKO UFC. He is the one that is currently running it on their behalf. So that means the board of directors is not really the board of directors. Understand, yes, there's going to be people on the board of TKO Group Holdings that will be working on behalf of Silver Lake. But they don't own the company. They own stock in Endeavor and they own stock in TKO. But no one owns it anymore. Ari owns nothing.
Nothing.
That's the thing here. Understand, over the years, we have seen companies get bought out. In this situation, when, if you remember so many years ago, I brought it up so many times when it came to Ted Turner, and he had Turner Broadcasting. He decided he wanted to buy AOL. And he tried investing a lot in trying to get it. But at the times he trying to buy AOL, which was very popular, when they used to have the little sound, "You got mail." If you know what that means, you're as old as I am, or you're nearly as old as that. But the thing is, he had a lot of problems when it comes to the business. When it came to Turner Broadcasting, they were losing money, and then they filed for bankruptcy. So the AOL deal fell out, well, fell through actually, once he started going to bankruptcy. And then only thing he had left was WCW, which eventually Vince bought from him because he needed money, he needed capital, and well, he needed money more than he needed capital. So Vince bought it from him, and then he used that to try and save Turner Broadcasting, which he did, which he had to eventually hand over to somebody else. So that is one example of when a company gets a problem and then they get bought out by somebody. But here's the thing. TKO and Endeavor were not in trouble with money. They had no problems with money. So this situation was a little different from what I understand. And I don't know the full story. And I'm not telling I do. But from what I could roughly understand, Silver Lake bought shares in Endeavor. Eventually, they bought enough shares that they can try and acquire the company, which they did. And now they own 64% of the main assets of Endeavor right now. 64% of the major assets of Endeavor. They own it. And they also own the company. So now, Ari is not the owner of WWE anymore. He's just running the company. And this is where I said 100% a while ago, don't underestimate what could happen with Ari.
Because Ari sold the damn company.
Ari sold Endeavor. He sold it. Remember, Endeavor controls TKO Group Holdings, which controls UFC and WWE. And at this point, this is what I now know, Endeavor is now been made private. But TKO Group Holdings is now currently public. So you got two companies side by side. One is now private and controlled by the same company as the one that is public. So this is publicly owned. It's open shares, open. But Endeavor is private. So you got Silver Lake here. It owns Endeavor, which owns TKO, which owns UFC, which owns WWE. Now, what does this mean for us? Because I know you're going to be saying, dude, this is, you're giving me a headache. You're giving me, my brain is melting. I'm sure you're going to be thinking that. Here's the deal. Ari does not own the company anymore. He doesn't. And because he doesn't own the company, there's no guarantee how long he will stay as CEO. At any time, Silver Lake can make a direct order to fire.
I'll say it again. Fire.
Ari Emanuel. At any time. Now you could say, well, maybe The Rock would take over. He could. But they can fire The Rock as well. Because The Rock does not own TKO Group Holdings. He does not own WWE. And he does not own Endeavor. Silver Lake does. And at any time, unless he makes an offer to Silver Lake to buy WWE from them, because Rock has $800 million, maybe about, what, 400 or 500 million might be liquid, and actual hard cash, he might have maybe 300 or 400 million. You never know. Yes, he owns USFL. Yes, I know that. But if he makes an offer to Silver Lake to buy WWE and he takes it private, then he could do it. But Silver Lake is owned by an equity firm. And they will make the final decisions on Endeavor, TKO Group Holdings, TKO UFC, and TKO WWE. They make all the decisions now. It makes no difference what we want. if the people who run Silver Lake say, we don't like Ari Emanuel, they will get rid of him. If the people in Silver Lake say, we don't like Nick Khan and TKO WWE because he's been making some type of problems. We just saw him on TV cause trouble. Get rid of him. He's gone. Or hell, let's say someone that is on the board of Silver Lake says, we do not like Triple H.
Get rid of him.
And no matter if Ari, Nick, or even, I will eventually do a video with The Rock and Triple H. Let's say he says, you can't do that, we need him. They're going to say, fire him. We own the company. He's gone. So right now, as far as I can tell, Alex hasn't said anything about Silver Lake. It's been since March of this year the acquisition of Endeavor happened. They're so focused on what's going on with The Rock, what's going on with Triple H. No one's noticed that Ari Emanuel doesn't own the company anymore. And even though he is still the CEO, and legitimately at any time he can still change his mind on anything that Nick believes would be good for the business, or The Rock, or particularly Triple H, who's running the day-to-day creative operations of WWE. Ari can still override any of them because he's still the CEO of TKO and the CEO of Endeavor. He still is the CEO of both companies. He's running on behalf of Silver Lake. So he can change anything he wants. And that still holds true what I'm saying. But now, with this extra layer that we have, guys, we have no idea how long this is going to last. We do not know how long Ari is going to stay the current CEO of Endeavor or TKO Group Holdings. We don't know. And because now another company owns the company that we care about, because see it like this. WWE is owned by TKO, which is owned by Endeavor, which is now owned by Silver Lake. Silver Lake, Endeavor, TKO. 3 layers of companies are owning a former wrestling promotion that we supposedly love very much, but we notice, and I'm sure you have noticed, how bad things are becoming when it comes to advertisement, and you're bringing in really stupid things and stupid people. You're doing more stars and celebrities like crazy than we ever did when Vince was running it. I'm not even saying Vince was better. You're seeing huge amounts of advertisement. You're seeing that the prices for tickets have exponentially exploded. And not even talking about how bad it is in the UK. It's even worse for them in the UK than it probably is in America. Because just to get good seats, it's over $1,000 in some cases. Or decent seats. This is what we have. We have a satellite company that's now owned by a satellite company that is now owned by a satellite company that is owned by an equity firm. Equity firm, satellite company, and then WWE. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit. It makes me nervous for the future. Because as long as the company is producing good amount of money, anything could happen with the management. As long as management holds as it is, even if we don't agree with it, we're fine. But the minute that money goes from here to here, management will disappear and they will throw whatever it's needed to make money, even if it means to go away from pro wrestling. Understand? You think they'll keep doing WWE as a pro wrestling company? If Silver Lake told them to start doing dancing instead of pro wrestling, WWE will do dancing, like Dancing with the Stars, then do pro wrestling. They will transition to something else no matter if you like it or not, because they don't own themselves anymore. But this is just me. And I hope you enjoyed this Gump Report. Please give me a comment below. Oh my gosh, this was a lot to take. I wonder if you guys are going to really handle it well. Peace.